This video is going to be a film study look at Lamar Jackson's performance in the Ravens' 37-31 overtime win over the Chargers. I will break down the punt return by Tylan Wallace, hopefully at halftime of the Monday Night Football game. This is going to be the first video that I put out. I don't normally do this in terms of focus on quarterback play exclusively, but I felt like it was warranted here. Over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns on a day when the weather, rain, wind impacted a lot of decision-making and a lot of plays. Lamar goes out there and throws for 300 yards and 3 TDs. Stafford also approached 300. Interestingly, that they were both low percentage in terms of completions to attempts. Lamar was 24 of 43, 55%, a little over 55. And Stafford was 23 for 41, 56%. Both of them had throws that seemed to float a couple of times, affecting their touch throws, I thought, more so than their downfield stuff. Lamar was able to display the clutch gene once again. Well, they both were, in fact, exchanging go-ahead drives in the fourth quarter. I'm going to review some critical plays from Lamar on a day when the Ravens prevailed on special teams punt return by Tylan Wallace. Things did not start off well for this offense, clearly. First possession run game never really got going all day, other than a 27-yard run by Keaton Mitchell and one 16-yard scramble by Lamar. I thought the run game was in some sense pretty much shut down. 3rd and 2 there, give to Gus. It looks like 97 that does kind of like this half-man concept that I've been talking about, our technique, where he kind of folds inside after standing there frozen for a moment to allow Lamar to give the football. Additionally, I think Gus said a couple of times is we've got 2 plays where we're running, crossing the quarterback's face, it's inside zone to the opposite side, and then we've got what I would call the same side run. And there has been a couple of times, I think Coach Evans pointed it out on Twitter as well, where Gus is kind of doing one play when the situation calls for the other. We, of course, don't know what was called in the huddle, but that's a 3rd and 2 where we only get 1 yard on the first possession. Rams go down, take a 3-0 lead. This is second possession. Cornerback is waiting on the slant up at the top here by OBJ, and Lamar, soft throw with time to the top side of the field out of empty on a 2nd and 10. Really ended up beating these guys, these DBs for the Rams on multiple concepts. They overplayed, to me, they overplayed their hand on some of this stuff. They were looking for the slant early, almost like a defender kind of overplaying your right hand in basketball. If you've played a lot of basketball, you know what I'm talking about. And then you're able to just beat them to the left side, beat them to the opposite side. They almost made it too easy. In some ways. But in any case, that's a 20-yard reception to OBJ up top. Very next play, under center play action, deep shot. Perhaps it's overthrown. Don't get it twisted. But Bateman did seem to slow up at a certain point in time. It's an over Yankee concept, I would call it. I don't know what other people call it, where basically you've got a vertical to one side of the field. I feel like Bateman brings this route in towards the hash a lot. And then you've got the deeper over concept by, in this case, Flowers. I wonder if Bateman just thought he wasn't going to get the football. I wonder if he thought he read the coverage such that Zay was going to get the ball. You still got to finish the play. Lamar had to step up, upfield pressure a little bit. Ball ends up being in towards the middle of the field, maybe a little bit more. Maybe it floated in the wind. I'm not sure. In any case, it carried too far in towards the safety. Should Bateman keep running? I don't know. I mean, sure, it looks like he should keep running to me, and we would certainly coach him to do that. Same play, end zone angle. We did hit 2 deep passes here on the ensuing next possessions. To me, tactically or schematically, it looked like Monken wanted to go up top against this DB group. If you're a Rams fan, you've listened this long, I don't mean this in a terribly disparaging way, but I just don't think their DBs were able to match up across the span of the 60 minutes. And I think that showed on some of the plays and the way Lamar was able to successfully throw the football. Same possession still. We end up going hurry up after a TFL or a sack by a 53 Jones, who's a guy that I really underrated. Film, I didn't see him make 1 play on film. And then he made like 3 yesterday. Apparently played hurt. This is a 3rd and 10. Quick snap. 97 is another guy who I thought I didn't really see a whole lot out of on film, but here he is winning on the initial pressure. You got a nice wall built on the opposite side, one-on-one over here, and he's winning, at least forcing Lamar to step up, and ends up throwing the incompletion. I think that's the rookie Turner, who I did not underestimate. He's a spectacular rookie D tackle. That was a 3rd and 10. Offense had done nothing through 2 possessions while the Rams had established everything they wanted to. Everything changed. All that changed in a hurry. 3rd possession here, 2nd and 4 from the 40. Mitchell almost busts this. Now, I want to talk about some of the circumstances here. You've got 2 receivers to our left, tight end down to the boundary, motioning a 3rd guy up to the field. In this case, it ends up being 2 receivers and 1 tight end likely up there. Great job by Macari on the pull. You get the kick-out block, I think, by Simpson. Macari is the 2nd guy through. 44 does absolutely nothing here. And Mitchell is damn near taking this thing to the house on a 2nd and 4 after a 6-yard run on the 1st and 10. End zone angle, same place, so you can see what I'm talking about. We're going to end up with trips off screen to our right, really out of position with this 5-1 look by the inside linebacker. He's just totally out of position to be able to defend this concept at all. Ricard is able to combo up to him because he was leveraged so far to our right. You can see Macari's got up to the safety, and Mitchell is almost gone. What I love about this next play, this is the touchdown pass to Likely. It's the same action as the play before. You got motion up to the top side from the bottom side. Last play, it was Zay Flowers. This time, it's Likely. It's shotgun. The back is on different side. It's A gun on this one versus B gun on the previous play. But it's what I really love about it is on the previous play, Flowers, who's a speed receiver, he's a balanced receiver. He ran into the flats on the previous play, the run by Mitchell. And we got a snag. So we ran a short concept when our speed guy went in motion. This is a tight end. This shows the versatility of Likely. Yes, he's wide open. We ran the wheel with the tight end. We almost kind of did this backwards, if you ask me. Additionally, it's 21 personnel. So it's 2 running backs and 1 tight end. We've got the Rams base defense on the field. So 2 outside linebackers, 3 interior linebackers. 2 guys playing inside linebacker in there, even though 43 conceptually is a safety. They're in a 3-4 look from nickel personnel, they being the Rams. And in this case, there's no way for them to adjust to the 3 routes. The way that Flowers takes his to the middle of the field, holds one of the DBs, also pulls the free safety, Likely is wide open. Lamar is just checking it out to confirm that no one else is going to be able to get over there. Thought this was a huge moment. Huge moment because we hit him with something big. A huge moment because Monken saw something on the previous play, probably in film study, whether the Rams rotated or did not, or something they didn't do, and he exploited it immediately. To me, this moment here, and when Keaton Mitchell had those 2 runs for over 10 yards, established that we were the more talented side. I'm talking about our offense versus the Rams defense. Don't take offense if you're a Rams fan watching and listening. When we hit with multiple big plays in the pass game, we hit with a 21-yard touchdown on 3rd and 17. We were the quicker side. Our athletes were faster. 4th possession now. Rams had taken a 10-7 lead. 1st and 10, negative 25. This is right back to that same exact dynamic that I talked about with the wheel by Likely and the play before that, snag flat. Lamar ends up scrambling here for 16. It's ridiculous. Right around this time, my family was watching with me, all Philadelphia or Pennsylvania people, and they don't know Lamar at all other than what they hear. Same dynamic, 21 personnel. We got the Rams in that same 3-4 look. I believe 43 is a safety personnel guy. I could be wrong. He might be an inside linebacker. But so Monken went right back to it. I really like that. He went right back to the same thing, creating trips against a 3-4 look, regardless of whatever 43 is. He wasn't involved in many tackles from an inside linebacker standpoint. In this case, we go play action. Lamar scrambles, ridiculous. End zone angle, same play. That's actually not 43. So this is, in fact, 2 inside linebackers. Looks like maybe 56 and 53. So you have base personnel on the field here for the Rams. And Monken was trying to exploit it again with the play-action pass. In this case, Donald gets some pressure. Lamar escapes him and someone else. Ronnie Stanley downfield trying to block Gus, also trying to block. Ridiculous moment, 16 yards. We end up with a 3rd down here. Like I said, trailing 10-7. The Rams show blitz on this 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7. And you get this out motion by Likely. It confused the Rams DBs. OBJ is wide open on this in cut from the top side. Lamar's already went to the matchup down here. I think Flowers, very similar to the Browns game at home in Baltimore. I think Flowers was just going to beat all these DBs, and he did at various times. But up to the top side, you can see what's happened. The motion by Likely has pulled 2 defenders. One guy is going with, I think, Aguilar, and was Lamar to be looking up to the top side. OBJ's wide open. I'm not saying that's where the ball should have gone. This is an amazing play by Zay Flowers, full extension to get the catch and then spin out of here. At the end of the play, I'm not sure how this isn't a personal foul. In 2023, with the way the game is over officiated, lifting the guy up out of bounds. There's 3 whistles before he had an opportunity to let go. To me, the larger point is it's an amazing moment here where Zay Flowers just pretty much showed them, hey, you can't match up with me. And I thought that held all day. Very next play, empty. Part of me was like, oh, God, what are we doing going empty? But I think Monken and Lamar knew that we were going to be able to throw the ball against this team consistently, and we did so. The funny thing is OBJ ran the same exact route out of empty to the same exact side of the field against the Green Bay Packers in 2021 while he was playing for the Rams. It's just crazy. I do think that the Rams are doing something that a lot of other teams have wanted to have executed early in the year. They're showing one blitz from one side in terms of outside linebacker and then bringing the other guy, so they're creating a 4-man rush. Additionally, something to think about here and notice is Lamar's looking to the right side of the field. He comes back to this and recognizes it immediately. 97 is getting there. Underrated football player, again, by me, first and foremost. 97 forces him to step up. OBJ has admitted that he ran the wrong route, but Lamar threw it away from the defenders. It's exactly as I suspected in the reaction video. Of course, you don't get this view. Occasionally, the broadcast will show you end zone angle stuff. Lamar's not throwing this ball in here to take it towards that safety from the opposite side of the field. He's throwing it away from all the pressure, away from anyone else. OBJ, with his great ball skills, people call it tracking, whatever, is able to get the long touchdown catch. I think 46 yards, put us up 14-10. Another thing I want to mention about OBJ, besides the playmaking skills and how great a season he's having, man, that's so cool to hear that he wore a shirt kind of commemorating his days with the Rams. Tells you a little bit about the guy, the lack of ego, at least as it relates to what he feels about the Rams and what they did for his career. Going to fast forward a little bit here. I knew this video was going to be long. I understand other people do quarterback-only content, and that's cool. It's not what I typically try to do. I'm trying to talk about the coverages to you and also illustrate how well I think Lamar played. At this point, the Rams are up 22-20. We've had the safety that Lamar definitely kicked out of bounds. This is basically our 9th possession after Van Noy took over a defensive possession, had 2 tackles, a tackle for loss on a 3rd down screen that pushed the Rams out of field goal range. We go play action. This is opposite the motion I've talked about a couple of times. So it's 2-by-2, it's a 3-by-1 to start, and then we're motioning to 2-by-2, but that's a 20 personnel. So it's not exactly the same, but it's conceptually the opposite of what we showed earlier. And again, the Rams appear to have an outside linebacker, 3 interior D linemen, and 2 inside linebackers on the field. I think there was a real conscious effort by Monken to utilize different personnel groups, manipulate the Rams in terms of who they had on the field, and then attack in a very specific way. Additionally, this is the 3rd time in this game I've seen Ricard deal with an outside linebacker alone. He does have a lot of jersey grabbed, but it's in a particular location on the defender's body where the referees aren't going to call it. Lamar saw nothing and took 16 yards up the middle. Again, this is 9th possession. We're down 22-20. This is tough. This is a 3rd and 5, and this is going to be complete to Flowers. He's going to sit in between the hashes. Excellent job, if you ask me, and I'm going to get some pushback on this one, but this is an excellent job of dealing with something that schematically the Rams defense coordinator set up, and I think in fantastic fashion. You get Donald out here in the one-on-one with Moses. 53 is going to go B-gap inside. I will show you the end zone angle in a moment. And 56 is in there for one reason and one reason only. He's there to occupy the right guard, Zeitler, so that they can create a one-on-one for Donald on the edge and for the other blitzing inside linebacker, 53, against Justice Hill. Both of our guys, Moses and Justice Hill, win on this play. It's a well-coordinated blitz, if you ask me. Justice Hill hasn't been great in pass pro at times, clearly, but this is a win. This, and you'll get the end zone angle here in a moment, because they're able to, well, they gave Lamar space to be able to step up and make the throw. Do I think that Justice Hill's doing a great job on this play? Well, no, I don't think it's a great job, but he's at least riding the guy out of there such that Lamar has the opportunity to step up. It's a successful stunt from the standpoint of what the Rams did. They got the back to the side. 56 is going to step up. The moment Zeitler steps to him, he's going to peel back. Conceptually similar to stick split zero in the way that the Dolphins ran it back in 2021. The moment Zeitler steps to 56, he's going to peel back. 97 has already dropped out. This is a great job by Lamar. Got to give credit to Hill and Moses. Moses just rides Donald out of there. This is a win for Moses. Lamar's able to step up, make the throw to Flowers. I'm sure there'll be people who are like, hey, look, if Donald had a two-way go, and what I mean by that is I think Donald's rush on the edge is hard-coded. I think he's told on this stunt, we want you rushing outside because we think we're going to get the linebacker singled up on the running back to the inside. Now, he didn't win. Moses did here. That's all I know. Big play, 6 or 7 yards, converts on the 9th possession. This one's even bigger. That one kept the drive going. We're now into the 4th quarter. You can see we've switched fields. Incompletion to OBJ, and we get Likely for 11 yards. First of all, he's going to decleat the edge rusher here. Release out into the flats. Lamar was reading this side, and as soon as the corner went deep with number 1, so as soon as 1 sees no work, he gets depth, and Lamar immediately goes to it. Another situation where Lamar's looking to one side and is going to come back to the other, in this case the downside, Likely. He's potentially got Zay Flowers, if you ask me, but takes Likely underneath, 11 yards. This is one thing about Likely, is that he's got that run after the catch ability. He gets the ball. He's damn near like a running back. He's a big dude to tackle. I thought that was a cool moment. Another illustration of Lamar starting on one side with a read, coming back to the other. After a first down run, got next to nothing. We're in a 2nd and 8. And I think this is another situation where you see Lamar reading to one side and coming back to the other. Corner sits here. Lamar is clearly looking, somewhere over here, potentially looking at the safety or the boundary side inside linebacker. He's going to go back to the top side. Doesn't have anything, to throw the ball here. This corner sitting in the flats, like cover 2 technique, safety over the top. Now, one thing to say about some of the DBs who watch quarterbacks' eyes so much is, well, when you do that and Lamar looks to one side, then that kind of holds this guy in this location. If Lamar was looking here immediately, who's to say the safety isn't another 3 or 4 yards wider to the side? People say manipulate guys with their eyes. Sometimes that's the case, sometimes it's not. Sometimes his read just goes left to right, and the natural progression, the way the concept was built in and installed by the coaches, allows him to, quote, manipulate someone with his eyes. But in any case, big play to OBJ, I think 20 yards up the right sideline. Sticks blitz 0 here, I believe, on a 2nd and 7 from the 20-yard line. Another example of teams doing this, and it's not anything negative about Lamar. It's actually the same place, same location on the field where teams like the Bengals and Bills in 2020 and 21 started to use it. High red zone or just outside of it. Same area of the field. Lamar fades back expertly and throws it to Flowers. This is a drop. Clearly, this ball could be caught. Is it going to be a first down? Well, no. But Zay has great ability to break tackles. On the stick split 0 thing, it was never about his weapons. It never was. It was never about defensive coordinators saying, oh, we don't think he can throw. It's about removing the choice for him to scramble, forcing a decision that limits Lamar's and the Ravens' offense's options post-snap. That's it. That's all it was ever about, trying to limit him being able to scramble because he's so damn good at it, because he has the ability to make rushers miss. In this case, they're just bringing more than we can block. Absolute man-to-man everywhere you go, and forcing us to beat it. In this case, I think Lamar did the right thing in terms of getting the ball out. Underneath, Zay Flowers with the drop. We settle for a field goal that makes it 23-20. 23-22, excuse me. Rams counter by going down and basically figuring out our defense and scoring to go up 28-23 with 4:41 left in the game. And then here we go. I thought this was an amazing moment, or a series of moments. Look, the NFL wants this. They want quarterbacks making plays in the end. They want controversial calls by the refs. They get one on this play, on this drive. They want quarterbacks that are brilliant in making comebacks, and they get this as well. This is a 1st and 10. There is some pressure. This is 2nd and 10. Sorry, we had some pressure on the 1st and 10, incompletion to Justice Hill, who is our 2-minute back for whatever reason. This is a nice job of getting him isolated against the inside linebacker of 53 to the boundary. Additionally, to the top side, were it to be man, we got this built-in slot fade here. Lamar chose not to go to that side. He's got a nice matchup. Justice Hill brings this back to the sideline. A lot of space, wide open. The announcers at this time were saying the pocket was collapsed. I mean, I don't see it that way. But Lamar's on time, gets the ball to Justice Hill. 1st down, 12 yards, gets us moving. Very next play, the Rams are mixing things up in terms of what they're doing. This is a 4-man rush, but because of what occurred on the previous play, Justice Hill is lined up here. 97 is going to drop out. So they've absolved 53 of having to deal with him. Now here they've put him to the field, lined up to the trip side. I think they're just reacting to the previous play. Lamar's going to scramble out of here. Ridiculous 9-yard gain. Like I said, I watched a game with family who don't know anything about Lamar Jackson other than what they hear. And on this drive, they were like, this guy is insanity, like, to deal with as a defense. I think there's a cumulative effect on the Rams D-line at this point. And I know this is the second disrespectful thing that I've said. I just have to say what I think I see. There's a real lack of athleticism in the guys rushing the passer on this particular snap and 2 other times in the game. Lamar is able to get out of here, and he's just operating at almost 2.5x speed compared to the guys responsible for sacking him. What I'm saying is they physically are not able to do it. All of them. They're just not. I don't think that type of thing, this type of thing, is supposed to occur in the NFL. Credit to our guys who just stayed on their defenders. The fact that Lamar was able to throw the ball the way he was on a rainy, windy day, on a day when our defense got shredded, at least 4 possessions, and he can also retain the level of athleticism to do what you just saw, that's a complete unicorn. All right, you got a short completion to Zay Flowers on a 2nd and 1 to pick up the 1st down. And then we're picking on the boundary again. Aaron Donald falls down on the rush. Quick completion, quick release by Lamar to Zay Flowers, who's on a knee, and he's a competitor. He wants more. Like, I don't care what the situation is, Zay Flowers wants more. There's real evidence of passion and effort with him, if you ask me. And I don't think the Rams had many options here. I'm not saying this was easy work for Lamar by any means, because you're losing at home with inside 3 minutes now. The Rams' coverage options weren't good, any of them. And I think that's shown on this next play. After that 11-yard gain to Flowers, Rams go man here. They really do a nice job of passing off Zay Flowers. I'll say that. But it's OBJ on the backside. Zay's going to motion across, and they just pass him off to the linebacker 53. Which a lot of teams are not able to do, to be honest with you. Tylan Wallace is actually in the game, running across, and it's the second crosser, or the second in route, I should say, by OBJ. Some people call it a dig, whatever. Wallace is basically the bait, along with Zay Flowers. So really nice design, if you ask me. You got variable levels coming back across the field, and the drag, which in some ways kind of clears this out, number one, and then Wallace's route clears it out even more. Lamar comes back to it, standing there. Nice wide base. That's the one thing I noticed 4 or 5 throws yesterday. Much wider base. The throw was a little bit low, I think, but OBJ went down to get it, and it's also possible that that's where Lamar wanted to put it. Big play, if you ask me. It gets us 14 yards from the 39. We get down to the 25, 2nd and 10. Actually, it's a 3rd and 5. My apologies. We had 2 completions in a row to Aguilar. This is the second one. It's a 3rd and 5. And I also really like the design of this one. You've got a bunch set to the top side. Credit Likely and these guys for the design. Likely's going to push off on the vertical, which kind of holds the corner. Whatever he does beyond this level kind of doesn't matter. He's just holding the outside corner because there is a vertical release. Additionally, Zay is going underneath. They're just creating space between the outside corner and 97, who's dropped out in this situation. I think you can see Lamar's already got the ball out on his 3rd and 5. Big moment. 6 yards to Aguilar. Aguilar is reliable. He's had a great season. He hasn't had a great season numbers-wise. I don't know if you guys know, but like our numbers are not going to be high, individual players with their receptions, because there's so many talented guys. Picks up a first down. This is where it gets interesting and not fun, to be honest with you. This is I'm not sure about the first down play call here, to be real, but we end up with a 2nd and 11, and this is a disappointing, a really weird situation where the refs, I guess, can't change the call to incomplete. I didn't hear an explanation on the broadcast after the refs met. I thought there was a stoppage in play of like 30, 40 seconds. But in any case, the sack makes it 3rd and 17. The play of the season, in some ways, is really coming up. I mean, well, until Tylan Wallace's punt return for a touchdown. There's been a lot of them. Bateman, first of all, is clearly in the area that Lamar is trying to get the ball to, number one. So I don't know how they could have called intentional grounding. I've seen people indicate that it should be called intentional grounding. The knee wasn't down, so they ruled it a sack initially, and then whatever. I mean, I guess they have to stay with that call because it was ruled a sack. I don't know. If they're going to have replay, like why not be able to – I say that, and why not be able to review it? But the game's over officiated at this point, and I feel like it's poorly managed by the refs all at the same time, which doesn't make sense that it would be over officiated and poorly managed at the same time. I feel like some cases they have too many things that they're being told to look at, too many things they're trying to be responsible for. I don't know if it's not enough eyes out there or maybe too many old eyes. Not sure, but I thought it was a bad job of explaining the situation because clearly Lamar's knee was not down. But sets us up for a 3rd and 17 from the 21. Brilliant stuff. Nelson Aguilar, you saw him talking to Lamar pre-snap. Not exactly drawn up perfectly there, but you get the idea. Aguilar is going to hold this downside safety to the side. Great throw by Lamar. Flowers on the win. Like I said, Flowers beat all of them. Whoever he lined up against, he beat them. It is amazing to hear Aguilar mentioning to Lamar that he would take the character, the courage. It's Lamar Jackson. For him to be able to go up and have the confidence to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and it's going to free someone else up. And you can see Aguilar. This says a lot, man. Zay's going to celebrate. He just scored a game-winning touchdown, or go-ahead touchdown, of course, because the Rams went down on defense again. But watch this dude celebrate one more time, man. He's just as happy as Zay is. If you don't get it about Nelson Aguilar, like those are guys that you win with. In some cases, they make winning plays. The 3rd and 5 catch that he had for 6 yards. In some cases, they clear things up for other people. You got an underrated chip here by Likely. If you ask me, it actually helps Aaron Donald win because what they're trying to set up is stunts on the inside and then Donald looping around. It actually kind of helps Donald win. I didn't think he was much of a factor on the day, but he is the guy who gets in Lamar's face. I'll give you the end zone angle in a moment. I will say this. I want to see Zay hold on to the ball a little bit longer once he's in there for a touchdown. It's a great throw by Lamar, and you get an illustration of it, I think, here. You can see 97 ran into Simpson, Donald looping around. Lamar's going to throw this ball over Donald, over a linebacker, and then perfectly in time with Zay. Touchdown. Like to see him hold on to the ball a little bit longer so there's no discussion about it at all. It really is just another clean win by Flowers on Sunday. Very similar to the game against the Browns. I feel like he beat everyone he lined up against. I don't mean to say that in a disrespectful way, but this made it 29-28. The 2-point conversion play is beautiful. Likely is stepping down here in motion to make it look like he could pin, and then we could run pin, pull, pitch. I was thinking that this was going to be a pin by Likely, and then Gus leading the way for Lamar out to the edge. That's what I thought was coming. Forgive all the lines being in the same color. But Likely puts his foot in the ground and returns. Lamar doesn't like what he sees. We don't take it. Flowers, again, is the number one receiver up to the top side. Takes Kendrick, I believe, to the inside, puts his foot in the ground, and loses him. It's just too quick. It's a great job by Lamar, though, like to be able to get out there, have someone flash. I think Zeitler's got two dudes to deal with. He can't deal with both of them. I think it's Jones and a D tackle. The D tackle crunches Lamar right as or just after he's throwing the football. Look, Lamar had some time on some of these throws. The 2 touchdowns, oh, the guys are wide open. Cool, say whatever you want. But this one, he dodges a defender, gets hit by a D lineman. Really tight space down in there, if you ask me. There isn't much room. And look, he's still got the football in his hands, and this guy's in on his legs. It's incredible. It's a big hit. Lamar understands the moment. I got to get this ball out there. And we needed those 2 points. Because like I said, the Rams able to go down and get the field goal to tie it. We all know how it ended, but man, I was interested in watching the film. And I knew this was a long video. My apologies for that. Perhaps you like the long videos. I don't know. I did want to make one point. Lamar's a little bit older. He's not old yet. But this is a little different from some of the hero ball games where Lamar kind of willed us to win. I'm thinking of like the Chiefs and Vikings in 2021, the Colts in 2021 at home. I don't think he willed us to a win in 2022. He did play amazing in that home loss to the Dolphins in week 2 last year. He threw for 320 yards or so, ran for 119. This game has a different feel. It had a different feel. Let me rephrase that. Watching it, it felt like hero ball. Watching the All-22 tonight, it doesn't. I like sports comparisons, and sometimes they don't hit the mark, so forgive me. Hopefully you like this one. This reminds me of a young basketball player who at times had to score 45, 50, or 52 to get his team to win by 2 in the NBA. And now, a little bit older, the guy can go for 23, 24, 25 with 12 assists and 7 or 8 rebounds because the design of the plays takes advantage of matchups that are there in his favor. And the NBA comparison, I still think, is warranted because the NBA is a long game, 48-minute game. The energy level of Lamar can be conserved to some level for those big moments, like this drive here. Wallace ended up being the hero on this day with the big punt return. But I thought this drive was, first of all, it was fun for me to watch on Sunday. It was fun for me to watch the All-22 knowing that we won. You guys let me know what you thought of Lamar's play in Week 14. I think it's pretty obvious that I think he played extremely well, while some of the throws were maybe a little bit off target, or there was definitely one that was underthrown to Bateman later on in the game that I didn't show. For whatever reason, it didn't show up when I downloaded it. But I appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of the first film study video of the week, checking out how Lamar Jackson was able to take us down the field, put us in the lead before Tylan Wallace pretty much finished off the Rams in overtime. Appreciate you guys' time.